All right, Derek, big week last week at Talawanda, knowing that they had a kid approaching 2,000 yards in rushing, and boy, your defense turned out large, didn't
Yeah.
it? Really shut them down.
Coach Huber and the boys did a great job. We got Coach Huber last year from Coleraine come over and be our DC and just did an absolutely amazing job with our defense. David Baldock and Bryson Deller are our two outside linebackers, and they really set the tone for our defense. In the middle, Grant Dallio, Henry Hickey, Brody Hall, and then Logan White played sparingly, but up front we're pretty good on the box. We've shut down the run majority of the year, but Coach Huber and the boys really did a great job.
Well, this year for you guys, 6-2 going into Friday night. We'll talk about that game, but man, I mean, you lose by 1 to your alma mater, East Central, and then 4 weeks later you lose by 2 to Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy. Both of those teams only with 1 loss. How well did those games, obviously you would have preferred a few more points and you'd be undefeated, but how well did those games prepare you from now heading into the postseason?
I think what they did was prepared us for knowing our limitations, and both those games we had huge turnovers at critical situations. East Central, we turned the ball over on a 9 after a block punt, and CHCA, we turned over the ball over 6 times. We're -3 in a turnover margin in that game, and it really was a difference. We had almost 540 yards of offense, and we just stalled out a couple times on drives, turned the ball over in the red zone twice, and just really hurt us. And we learned from our limitations in that game.
Well, you talk about, coaches talk about teaching moments, right? And I presume those are great examples of when you were able to then watch the film with your guys to say, had we done A, B, and C, this would have been different.
100%. And we talk about like decision making with the quarterback. Brady does an absolutely phenomenal job. Great kid, first year starter, just a junior for us, so he'll be here next year as well. But just really have grown so much in where he is. His best strength is running the football, and we limit him. You know, we don't want to lose him, but we ran him 11 times against Talawanda. Had about 60-some yards. Had a huge 3rd and 17 scramble for a first down. But really, he's grown tremendously as a leader, as a football player, and as a quarterback.
Let me ask you, I mean, you've come off a couple really good years. Mm-hmm. When you looked at this group this year, what did you expect going into the season? Did you expect to be 6-2 and as close to being undefeated as you are?
I expected us to be a good football team. I wasn't sure. We had to get a lot of good contributions from – we're playing a lot of sophomores. Christian Rother played a lot for us on Friday. Colton Rehage played a lot. Izzy Taylor played a lot for us on Friday. Dylan Witt had a huge catch. But our sophomores are playing well. And then we've had some juniors step up and play extremely well. Hayden Schlake played both ways. Kyle Davidson is doing a tremendous job for us. But we're just getting growth out of guys we weren't sure we were going to get the growth out of. And that's part of what we do at the lower levels is develop our kids.
We'll talk about the opponent coming up momentarily, but this is a big night, senior night, Friday in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown. How important is it to really recognize a senior class that's meant a lot to this program?
100%. And one of our goals coming in is if this group wins 11 football games, they'll be the all-time winningest class from 10 through 12. You know, they won 9 games as sophomores, 10 games last year. They needed to win 11 to be the all-time winningest class. But they really have changed the tone of what Harrison football is. Just their culture and dynamic has just been absolutely amazing, and just their hard work and dedication to the game has been amazing.
Now, continuing the path to 11, I should say, won't be easy Friday night. This is and for people who are unaware, this is a Greater Columbus, St. Francis DeSales, really a perennial, pretty much regional power, if not state power, year in and year out. And they've got 2 losses to 2 teams that are really good and undefeated in Baden and Bishop Watterson, which is a member of their league. What is it about this team that makes them so good?
Well, they have R.J. Day, a quarterback, who is a phenomenal player. He scrambles around, makes plays with his arm, makes plays with his legs. They got 2 kids who play both ways, who are 6'4" and 6'5", respectively. Their tailback's going to Michigan. So they just got players everywhere. They're very well coached. And then we got to see them last year when they played Northwest. We know what Watterson is. We've seen Watterson each of the last 2 years. We know how good Baden is. We've seen them in scrimmages before. So we know who their losses are. We know who their wins are. And we just know we're in a dogfight on Friday night.
So looking at your team, looking at the makeup of their team, what does Harrison need to do Friday night?
We got to be able to cover. We absolutely got to cover in the back end and get some pressure on R.J. Day and keep the 2 big guys, 6 and 5. We got to keep them off our run game and be able to run the ball effectively. But it's controlling them guys really 6 and 5 in the passing game, and then 6 and 5 when they come up and play defensive line.
Who's the moron that scheduled these games, right? The Wattersons, the DeSales. I mean, is that you going to put that on poor Mark, the AD, or is that you?
That's we want to play the best we can. So next year, instead of playing DeSales, we play LaSalle. We got to beat them in the playoffs at some point. So let's play them and see where we stack up. And
well, and talking about that, I mean, you're in D2. There's a lot of good teams in Region 8 to start with in Division 2. And how important is it to have games like Friday to kind of set the tone for the postseason?
It is, and really, we played Waterston each of the last 2 years, state runner-up in 23, state champs in 24. It gives us a gauge of where we are, what we need to work on, how we're going to be successful. We won 2 playoff games each of the last 2 years, and it's been good tests for us, but this is what playoff football is. You got to be able to run the ball, play good defense, and not turn the ball over in November is how you win football games. And I think playing schools like Waterston, playing CHCA, East Central, schools like that really give you a good test. Heck, Talawanda is absolutely phenomenal. Andy's done a great job up there, and that was a heck of a game on Friday.
So we waited till kind of now to pick week 9 and 10 games because you never know how the seasons unfold, but we feel like this is a really good game and a good chance to showcase Harrison in the showdown like always.
Yeah, and I think it's great for our program to see him because not only do we play DeSales on Friday, we turn around and play in LaSalle at both JV and freshman on the following Saturday. So it's just a good testament for Harrison, what we got going on in our program and our culture and our kids and how hard they really have worked. And we were 1-9 in 2022, and these kids this senior class has really turned around for us.